This time it will be reversed, so Amit will be presenting, and we have a question later on from Xavier, and we will open the floor for Q&A afterwards. So the presentation is on cryptocurrency and taxation in India, market dynamics, and the impact of taxation. So, Amit, floor is yours.
First of all, good morning to everyone, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to present my research before this prestigious esteemed guest. So I'll start my presentation. The title of my research paper is Cryptocurrency and Taxation in India and Market Dynamics and Impact of Taxation. Before starting, I just want to give a brief. On 1st of February 2022, our Honorable Finance Minister has introduced a new taxation, which is Section 115 BBH in Indian Income Tax Act 1961. So that will be the heart of the paper, like what is the taxation, what is the impact of the taxation, and how the taxation is itself is killing everything in India. See, we are Indians are having 1.45 billion of population, which is approximately 25% of the world. So what we do in India or in the territory of India impacts a lot in the blockchain and cryptocurrency industry as well. So that will be the paper, and I'll start with my presentation. Thank you for listening. Okay, so in this research, we'll discuss about the evolution of cryptocurrency in India and its underlying technology like blockchain technology, DLT system, and other, and its rapid adoption worldwide, specifically focuses in India. Uh, as per the chain analysis data of 2023, India is the #1 in global adoption of cryptocurrency. But still, our regulators and policymakers are on a different verge and on a different stand. Like they are on a verge of banning Bitcoin and blockchain. In 2018, we have tabled a bill of banning the complete virtual asset, digital assets in India, but that didn't got passed. So yes, cryptocurrency in India is quite unregulated yet, but it's taxed, heavily taxed. Okay, and then I'll give brief intro to crypto. Yeah, that is the stand. I know it's quite funny, but this is the actual stand, and I'm an Indian who's facing this from last 6 years. So that is a complete research paper. Yeah. But the tax is very high. I'll tell you in the following presentation. So I'll give a brief intro to crypto in India, like research on light on challenges faced by crypto businesses and investors, and while advocating for balanced regulation. So that is my complete agenda. So we'll have this, and this. So I'll cover one by one each of them, right? So yeah, going to the first, in this research paper, what we are going to deal with, I have just said that we are going to deal with the adoption, we are going to deal with the policy, the impact of taxation and all. So this is the first slide, moving to the second slide. So underlying cryptocurrency and its market dynamics in India. So as I said, as per the chain analysis data of 2023, India is #1 in global adoption rate. Right, we are in number fifth in DeFi or P2P exchange. And talking about the DeFi adoption, we are in the #1 position in the world. As we have the largest population, what we adopt is become #1 if we technically adopt it, and government is favoring us then only. But this is not the scenario. And so moving to the next slide. Yeah, so talking about the market dynamics in India and opportunities and risk. So the size of crypto tech market in India is projected to reach around $241 million by 2030. And that is said by an Isha report, which I have said it. And it's going to be like retail investors have already invested $5.6 billion till 2022 only. So that is a very huge amount, and that is going to be increased exponentially. So in order to understand the market dynamics and depth of Indian market, so this data is quite interesting. So now talking about the heart of the paper, and this is quite going to be interesting, right? The taxation landscape and regulatory challenges. And this is the area which I want to explore, and I want to present it in a very good and interesting manner. So I'll try to do that as much as I can. So in India, there is no specific law or regulation related to cryptocurrency. Yes, as I said it's an unregulated market, but it's heavily taxed. The tax which I'm saying again and again, the tax which has been imposed on us, it's nearly 30% flat tax on the profit that we make, right? And 1% of TDS on every transaction we make. Like for an example, we make 10 of transaction in a day, our 10% of portfolio get deposited to the government treasury at that day only. Like if we take 100 trades in a month, our like approximately 90% of portfolio get deposited with the Indian treasury, and we get it after 15 months. That is a tax deduction as source. And there is no like the draconian it makes is the subsection 2 of section 115H, is you are not allowed to set off your losses. For an example, I'll give you an example for this. For an example, I make a trade and I make a profit of 10 lakhs. Uh, Whatever you can, national currency you can imagine. Like for an example, I'm taking INR, the Indian rupee. So I'll make 10 lakhs of like profit in one trade, then 10 lakhs of profit in next trade. And then I make loss of all 20 lakh. I still have a liability of 30% of 20 lakhs. So if my portfolio is zero at the end of the day or at end of the financial year, I still have a heavenly liability tax on my head. I still have to pay it, and if I don't, I have to pay 100% of fine of that amount as well. Otherwise, I have to face legal consequences. So that is the tax which has been imposed in India, and why this has been imposed, we have to understand that also. Uh, like crypto and blockchain is a thing which are like used by tech savvies and like who are adopters in nature, like, but our government is not. Our governments are like they are aged person of 55 and 60 years, our honorable ministers they are, but they don't understand the tech much. When they hear cryptocurrency word, they hear only two words: it's money laundering and terror funding, and they think these are the use cases. These are the use cases of blockchain only and cryptocurrencies only. So they they are on the verge of this, and this is the area where they have to learn like what blockchain is, what public blockchain can do, what revolution it can make, and what cryptocurrency uses are there. Like for example, if we take example of cross border payment, if we take example of simplifying the payment at low cost, like if we take example, like that is my second research paper as well, like financial inclusion in rural India can be done with a public blockchain so easily that you can't even imagine. Like as per the data of Central Bank of India, which is RBI, so I have read a research on 2021 report, 56% of Indian population is only financially inclusive, which makes 46% of Indian population, complete Indian population, is financially exclusive. And this number comes to 600 million people. Either this data can show something, but this is an official data of government of RBI. I'm not making it up. Even I have filed an RTI with the RBI as well. Like, tell me the data of 2024 so that the blockchain and public blockchain can help in financial inclusion. So that is my research. Actually, if you want to have my research complete paper, I can share it. Not an issue. But this is the taxation that has been imposed. And there is also one more thing. There is no progressive tax slab. Like in India, what you have, when you earn 5 lakh of rupees, you have to pay zero tax. Then you earn 7 lakh of rupees, you have to pay 5%. Then at 10 lakhs, you have to pay 10%. Right? This is a progressive tax slab in India. But when you earn from cryptocurrency or trade from cryptocurrency, there is no progressive tax slab. If you earn 10 rupees, you have to pay 30%. If you like earn 1,000 or 1 crore, you have to pay 30%. There is no progressive tax slab as such. So these kinds of, I have a word, I have a privilege to have a word with RBI official in Mumbai. It was a global fintech fest. So I asked a very simple question, sir, why are you doing this? Like you have intentionally done that to impose a so stringent condition. Like, so he said that sometimes it's not about the revenue collection. Sometimes it's about the disgracing the tech. And we are disgracing it because we think that cryptocurrency is more like gambling. It's worse than horse riding. It's a complete speculative market. So these are the stand they are. So this research paper and my work and my advocating for like regulation is for to at least show them a mirror that what you are doing is completely wrong and contrary to the technology, and you are not welcoming a future tech. So that is for this slide, like taxation landscape. This is a complete current taxation landscape in India. So moving ahead, so cryptocurrency market size in India, as I said, it's a very growing market. People are still trading. There are crypto believers who are still trading, but they are trading on a foreign exchange or a decentralized exchange, not on an Indian centralized exchange, due to the stringent tax conditions. So yes, talking about the impact of taxation, that is the main thing. So imposition of high taxation, particularly the 1% of TDS that I said on every transaction you have to pay, is uh, like showed in a way like the moment it got announced, 80% of volume transferred to international exchange and centralized exchange, which result into declining or complete declining on Indian crypto exchanges. And there shutdowns of blockchain startups and crypto startups in India. So that is the thing which is going on, and investors have moved to decentralized exchange to bypass this to 1% TDS and like stringent tax condition. And now what they are doing is when there is a bypass of any system, they are making themselves liable for legal consequences as well. So indirectly they are putting themselves in a penal condition. But yes, this is the scenario. And then talking about the sovereign issue, so whenever I heard of finance ministry in India, so they are like, ki cryptocurrency means it includes currency. So it may be a legal tender. You want this as a legal tender, and we are like, no. At least treat it as a asset class. Treat it as a store of value, store of asset. But they heard of currency and they think that it is not going to be a legal tender. And the reason they propose is like, ki it will central bank issued currencies are ensuring economic stability, inflation control, and financial sovereignty. So these are the arguments which are taken by the government. So that is maybe right on a sense, but you can't like completely ban or indirectly ban a use case of blockchain and cryptocurrency. So moving ahead, the policy recommendation. So that will be my agenda. That is what I'm advocating for. The 1% TDS you have imposed is you are imposing for transaction traceability. If you are the main agenda is transaction traceability, you can make it to 0.01%. That is also shows transaction traceability. In that scenario, our complete portfolio is not get deposited with you. I have my portfolio with myself with transaction traceability. So that is a recommendation that we want to give, like progressive tax slab should be allowed, carry forward losses should be allowed. Like the stock market traders get the benefit, we also get the same benefit as they are. Why are you treating like a stepson and stock market as your real son? These are the things that government is not understanding at all. But yeah, we can fight for it. Even I'm fighting for it. I'm writing a book as well. I'll share it later, not in this presentation. And the future outlook, yeah, the India's strict tax policies on virtual digital assets have negatively impact country's Web 3.0 ecosystem. Yeah, like banks are not exploring blockchain as such as they should have. Like blockchain has an immensely benefit to the, or it can revolutionize the whole system. But due to this uncertainty in regulation, due to this negative stand of the government, they are not exploring the blockchain technology as well. Neither the people nor the startups nor the entrepreneurs are going into that direction, because you have legal consequences on your head. Even if you want to give tax, you can't able to. For an example, if I make a profit of 1 crore rupees in a year, and you give me a demand notice of 100 crores, how can I able to pay that? So these are the conditions which are restricting the Web 3.0 ecosystem in India, and also the crypto market as well. So heavy tax, 1% TDS driven innovation. It also driven investment to abroad. Those who are entrepreneurs, they are like opening their crypto businesses outside the India, like who the countries who gives favor ecosystem like Dubai, Sweden, Portugal, and more like that. So a favorable tax regime could be contribute so much of like to Atmanirbhar Bharat, we can achieve that, but a favorable condition. Uh, this is my last slide, conclusion. So cryptocurrency represents definitely a significant innovation in global finance, but remains in a regulatory gray area in India. So while India leads the crypto adoption, the absence of clear legal framework and heavily taxation has driven trading volume overseas. And last, the balanced legal framework and reduced tax burden could foster the growth of cryptocurrency in industry in India. Thank you so much. If anyone have a question, you can, she can ask, please.
I think we have Xavier.
Hello, we are audible.
Xavier, can you hear us? Perfect. Please, if you would like to, yeah, ask a question to our speaker.
Yeah, please. Very interesting questions has been asked. I'll have 2 points. When we talk about the crypto tech market, so when you disgrace a technology completely, when you disgrace the cryptocurrency and public blockchain technology completely, so it also affects the tech market as well. Like for an example, those entrepreneurs who are building something, they are not building it. And talking about the investments, who are the crypto believers? They are investing it on a overseas international exchanges or decentralized exchanges. But this can bypass the system, but you are going to be face legal consequences when you get caught. Like foreign exchanges, they do KYC, they have all the data, they have card and Aadhaar card of an Indian citizen. So these are the things people are investing it. As I said in my presentation, like $4.8 billion has been moved in just 9 months from February 1st of February 2022, the law got introduced, and 1st of April 2022, the law got imposed, effective. So the whole 80% of fund, all the users got transferred their fund to an international exchange to just bypass the TDS system. So these are the things which is going on. And talking about the adoption is restricting or hampering the crypto inclusion. Those who are not into a crypto, like as I said, we have 145 crores of population, which is 1.45 billion peoples. So there are only 9 crore crypto investors in India. If I tell in million, that is 90 million peoples are in India only, and we have 9 million people. So we have a whole lot population who is outside the crypto or the blockchain technology. They are unfamiliar, but due to this uncertainty, they are not letting themselves to know about the blockchain because they think that blockchain and cryptocurrency is going to die very soon because of the government. So this is my stand, and this is the actual scenario which I'm also facing it, definitely.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we can open the floor for questions. Uh,
To start it up, the first question is, can you explain me how you see difference in investing in a startup and a crypto startup? Do you think there is any difference?
So that is a question from a respect of a VC.
No,
And
it's from anywhere. See, please understand before you go to the regulator and explain to him, tell him that when you invest in a company, in the equity, you invest in the company. When you invest in a crypto, which you call crypto, I call it token, you invest in the process.
right,
There's
right,
no
right.
difference. So
Yeah,
when you invest in Matic, Matic is Polygon, you invest in the company equity, you own that company. But when you invest in the token, you are investing in the platform which will make smart contracts. So this is not gambling. This is investing in a startup that will
No,
change
no,
something.
I'm not saying it is gambling. The government is saying, I have the recorded footage of Lok Sabha
Yes.
like
So,
discussion
so the
where they have completely said this is worse than gambling, worse than horse riding.
So I talk to a lot
Yeah,
of Indian regulators. Problem is no one explains to them properly what the thing is.
yeah,
In
exactly. I
India,
know that.
angel tax took 10 years or 20 years to get
Even
removed.
I've also tried that. But they are not listening it. And there is a quote from like Shahid Shri Bhagat Singh ji. Whenever you want something to be heard by a deaf people, you have to make your voice very loud. So that voice can only be loud if everyone collaborates from the crypto stakeholders and they make their voice loud so that the government and regulators and policymakers hear us.
In a free market, normally it's not just loud, but it is adoption. When 100 million people start using it, governments have no option but to
Yeah, exactly. That
agree
is
to it.
known as Bella Ciao effect. The peoples are the resistance to the government.
What is the legal status of a transaction that's done by an Indian on an offshore exchange?
The legal status is it is firstly unregulated. Secondly, there is an FIU compliance. On 7th of March 2023, the Finance Ministry, the Revenue Ministry has gave a notification of every crypto exchange is under the ambit of PMLA, and they have to register themselves in Financial Intelligence Unit of India unit. So being that compliant, you have to deduct 1% TDS. And as of now, only two foreign exchanges are FIU compliant, which are Qcoin and Binance, in that sequence only. So whenever you trade on a different foreign offshore crypto exchange, you don't have to pay TDS. So that is the legal status as of now to be in a very in direct sense. So it's unregulated, and when you do trade on a FIU compliant, you have to pay 1% TDS. And if you don't do a trade, if you do a trade on a non-FIU compliant, you make self you're liable for a penal consequences or anything, but you don't have to pay 1% TDS, but you have to pay 30% TDS without setting off your losses.
Thank you.
Sure. I suspect that what happens in India is that they treat it as speculation, obviously, and that's why they impose what we call financial transaction tax, which is a Tobin tax. Uh, the reason is not to collect money, but to mitigate the spread of the transactions. They want also to tax 10% more compared to regular capital gains. It's 20%
Right, right.
in the what is the connection of the tax regime you want to propose with the CARF suggestions of OECD and DAC8? Do you take inspiration from them in order to propose a paradigm to your government that already works in the rest of the world?
First of all, it is not 30% of taxation. It's like a mathematical equation. Like the minimum tax will be 31.2% till infinite. Like, there is no flat tax system. Like, if you go by section 115 BBH of Indian Income Tax Act 1961, subsection 2 says you cannot set off your losses. So as I gave an example, like I make 10 lakhs of profit of INR into a crypto, then I make loss of everything, including my portfolio. I still have a liability of 3.3 lakh taxation. So that is not 30% because everyone has to pay cumulatively or at the end of the profit. But they are saying count just profit, forget the losses, and give profit on the taxation. Oh, sorry, profit. So this is the current stand, and yeah, it's an actual stand. You can Google it, or you can have like the act or Bear Act. It's an interpretation of statute basically.
Unless it's a really very fast.
Just a small comment. I think that the fight actually is against the gambling industry because the cryptocurrencies are usually being used to actually upload funds into gambling, which is very, very problematic for the society and obviously a huge topic. And unfortunately, in that fight falls also the cryptocurrency, and the consequences are very unfortunate, as you said.
Yeah, I have a very good answer to that. Just give me a 1 minute. There is in Latin term, as I am a legal practitioner, there is a Latin term called doctrine of lispidance, which means when you ever accept something, you have to accept its right version as well and the wrong version as well. Like, you can't say, I just wanted the right thing and don't want the wrong thing, right? So cryptocurrency is also like that, and everything is also like that. So there are hundreds of use cases, and definitely there are tens of like bad activities as well. Like when we talk about the Tornado Cash, so it's definitely using for some illegal activity or illicit activities. I'm not denying that. But there are tens and hundreds of use cases as well. So for a policymaker or for a regulator, you have to acknowledge everything. You just can't look at the two bad thing. You have to look at the 100 thing, and that is the only request I'm here to make.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Amit and Xavier, for your papers and discussion afterwards.